Greetings, Queen.
Greetings, peace and love, King. What's up?
We here to do the soul
Finally,
session. Finally, right? You
without
know,
further ado,
ladies and gentlemen.
first of all, I named it the Soul Session because it's a series of lives that will basically be talking to the soul, not talking to you as a human you, but the you inside, the one that changes every lifetime and so on. Talking to the soul, but this one in particular, because it just come to my mind, is going to be like talking about the essence of women. And the reason why that is, yeah, is because when you go around the world, yeah, more time, you are told or you are taught, whether it be off or not, you are taught like what a man is, what a man's supposed to do, and what a woman's role is kind of just the supplement. Do you know what I mean? From what they come, how they explain it, like the supplement of what the man's role is. And there's no real explanation. There's no real digging deep. And same with the guys, but it's been completely different because masculinity is taught all the time, everywhere, and femininity doesn't seem to get into that as much, and it's always on a lower level when femininity and masculinity isn't a hierarchy, it's a balance. So I guess my first question is, yeah, King, what do you think the essence of a woman is? Hmm?
Wow, you gonna put me on the spot like that?
Do you want to start? You were common man.
um, this is to me, and I have to just flow with what comes to mind.
Yep.
It is so profound. I don't believe the woman even knows what her essence is
Perfect.
within this modern programming pertaining to society. We tend to stray away from the identity of oneself. Like, if I guarantee, if you ask a queen who is she, the first thing she's going to give you is her title that was passed forth by her parents, which is
Yeah.
her name,
Name.
right?
Yeah.
But it goes deeper than that. Like I'm a fan of like a Dr. Philip Valentine's, and he wrote a book called The Woman. It's
Oh,
spelled it's spelled it's spelled WOMB. The womb. Like, it's more going towards the woman, the essence of the woman. And he mentioned this one particular thing that always stuck to me. He stated, if a woman is in tune to her true essence, right? She can tell that she's pregnant before the sperm even hits the egg.
yeah. I heard that. Yeah.
But the crazy thing, like looking now at it, is a lot of us are so bitter where we fail to see who we are or how we pretty much play a role in whatever reality or experience that we encounter in life. We like to say, oh, say me and you or whatever, you were like, oh, it's Jermaine's fault, versus, you know what, let me take a step back. It's on me, Adija.
Yeah.
The woman essence is so powerful and profound that even the Catholic Church worships the woman.
Yep.
So in reality, they will would you say, demonize the woman,
Yep. Yep.
but behind closed door they worship her because her anatomy is so, man,
Complex.
for yeah, it's beyond complex, like, because there's so much things within us that they science cannot explain. They would love to, you
Mm.
know, but they cannot. And it's crazy to me because, like, even the symbology within the degrees of masonry and so on, like, I've talked to Mason on a daily basis. I worked with a couple of them and they even try to get me to join them or whatever. They believe in this one God thing. And when you listen to them speak, they're talking about the woman anatomy.
Oh yeah.
So as a man, I really can't say, oh, this is what it is. I don't know. But from my perspective, queens, you guys are powerful. You guys are radiant. You guys are illumination. You guys are beauty personified. You guys are, man. If you was a cup of water, I'd have drunk you. Point
Sure.
blank, period. Just gonna say that. And that's the aboriginal so-called black woman. I'm
Couple.
gonna leave it at that. I'm
I'm gonna give it to you without.
gonna
Oh,
leave it at that.
well, that's a good question. I'd like to a good answer. I'd like to add to it. Maybe like talk about how I came to the conclusion I have. First of all, I don't believe that I ever find the full truth. I just find another truth because he who knows he don't know. You know what I mean? But what I've come to the conclusion of so far, it actually was from Torah, which is what a lot of people wouldn't even think of. But there's certain places in Torah where it talks from a masculine perspective and it talks from a feminine perspective in Hebrew. And when you see when it talks from a feminine perspective, you see it's also backing the strength within the woman, the manifestation of the feminine side of creation, like the creator, you know what I mean? There's a bit where it talks about, the Tower of Babel,
I've heard
when,
about it.
when all the languages got mixed together
Yeah,
and different, that's talking from a feminine perspective. The language is talking from a feminine perspective. The Elohim, the God, is talking from a feminine perspective. And it made me wonder, like, why is it that language is seen as feminine? And then I had to go back and I'm like, well, you learn most of your speaking skills, your language skills from your mom or the females in your life because they're the ones who are interacting with you more. They are the ones who teach you the culture. They're the ones who you grow with from the get go. You attach to your mom. If you want to eat, you gotta go to your mom and literally suck from her breast in order to get the nourishment you need and so on and so forth. There's another bit where it speaks about the giving of the Torah and it says, give unto the house of Jacob, which is referring to the women. And then it says, and give it unto the sons of Israel, which is talking to the men. And it's basically explaining that they wanted to give the Torah to the women first. Why? Why would you want to give the Torah to the women if this is seen as a patriarchal culture? But it's because they understood that he's the foundation of your learning, of a child's learning. The culture is going to be passed down from her more than your father because he's dealing with of an array of things. I always say the woman is the head of the house, the man is the head of the family. Who runs the house? Men don't run the house. Men don't hardly know what's going on in the house most of the time. Anything that happens in the house, you go to mom. You go into mom. You ain't gonna go to your dad and say, "Dad, is this here?" You ain't gonna know. He's gonna do. So he's asking mom. You know what
that's
I mean?
true. That's
But when
true.
it comes to the family now, protection, going out, being more in the public and so on, like how it was back then, is that's the man. That's what he'll be doing. He'll be more out there. He'll be more getting things ready. And when it comes to protection, you gotta be. When it becomes to protecting people, you gotta be in a certain place in order to cover them. And I don't believe a lot of females realize that aspect of it. But there's a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different energies, a lot of different essences.
I call them opinion slash perceptions,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
nobody really knows because, like I always state, we regurgitate other
yeah.
people's opinion, whether it comes from a book, whether we see it from a television set, whether we listen to it from a radio or whatever. It just is what it is. But
Mm,
to me, I feel like the one can't do without the other. You
nah.
know, as much as the queen would say, "Hey, like this is my child. He came out of me. so on and so forth. And then it's like they fail to understand that the life was pretty much contributed from the male
Mm,
to the queen, and
mhm,
she bears the fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like
mhm,
she's pretty much reaping the harvest. Like the man planted the seed, and she's the one that like bears the fruit. You know what I mean? And pick it. The
mhm,
picking for me is the giving of birth. You
mm,
know, and it's so much terminology, but one thing I know within our fiber, within our essence of our being is, as much as we're conflicted with reflections from paper and from man, our essence speak the truth. There's some things that just resonate with you where you just know, where some of us are more so like empath, where I can feel if you're upset,
mm,
and you may have not met this person before, but you just know that there's something about this person, or there's something's off. Like for
mm.
you, it might be an intuition. For like Rich, it might be an awareness. And for
Mm.
next Mill, it might be an awareness. And it just is what it is,
Yeah,
But one wash the other hand and both wash the damn face. Like we need to kill that.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. You see what you said there about taking from books, taking from other people's perceptions, and so on and so forth. After going to that now, after seeing these different things, after taking in these different sorts of knowledge, not just from Torah, some different places as well. You know, the Sikhs, they actually have a really good culture. A lot of people don't know a lot about the Sikhs, but the Sikhs are very interesting people. I'd advise people to look them up. But after doing all of that, now I then went to nature and I said, let's just look at nature. Let's look at how nature behaves. Let's look at how nature acts. Let me observe females in the sea, females in the sky, females on land, mammals, reptiles. Let me observe all of them and see how they all behave and see the similarities between all of them. And then note down all of them, like note down the ones that keep occurring, when it comes to the female.
Consistency.
Yeah. And that was the thing that helped me really understand, because then I started to recognize these things within myself. Even if you have a certain kind of personality, you could be more girly, or you could be in between, you could be more stern, you could be more boyish, you could be this or that, but your essence within itself, there's always these consistencies, as you said, there's always these things that come up. One of them being, there's so many. When your brain just gets fried when you're thinking, like, there's so many.
I think
I'll
it
go
limits. I think it
back.
limits our power pretty much when we think too much, because we create conditions
Mm,
and we tend to judge. We tend to judge things versus flowing and looking at things without judgment. It comes
mm.
out differently.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it does. But there's you know why I'm like that though? 'Cause I don't talk well. But 'cause I don't speak English.
You're talking well now. I'm not judging you.
But yeah, it's like, oh, what was I saying to my girl the other day? Because she was asking me about this, and I was like, I had a whole bunch of points just coming to my head from nowhere. But one of them definitely, I'll go back to the teaching, to the child rearing, to the bringing up of, and there's always this there's always this consistent focus on one's child, community, culture, society, rules, or cultures, or things people go by, taboos or non-taboos, and there's always this sense of justice as well, and this real not backing down from anything, regardless of whether you're in the lowest place or you're seen as the weakest. There's always this fight, this push, this unbeknown strength that comes from nowhere. And people call it vicious in this time and place. Which is why when you come across female felines like lions and stuff, people
Mhm.
always class them as vicious, and the males is more aggressive. But that viciousness is that vigor. It's almost as if, because we're two, we're one, but we're two, we're split, male, female. It's almost as if him having more strength has given her, in a balanced way, some sort of rigor within herself that like that balances out to strength, and vice versa.
Hmm.
There's there's a lot to it, but definitely it's about nature. It's about how nature behaves, how nature unfolds within yourself, and how you deal with that knowing within yourself, that essence within that self, that femininity within yourself. You also have to understand, a lot of people don't understand this. No one has only masculine and only feminine within them.
I'm happy. I'm happy you made that clear.
My nerves so bad. It's like physically impossible. It's literally impossible. If we're one person and we were originally one soul split into two, but now I'm one person, would I not still have the two within me? That it
That's
makes
that's
sense. It's like
crazy because let's show
female
you how
feminine.
let's show you how the universe works. I was just thinking that and you said it
There you go.
sincerely.
Thanks.
Um it it's ridiculous to me because if you pay attention to tendencies, like if men really wants to get down to the nitty-gritty, they act more feminine than females. And I'm not talking about the actual the sexuality, whatever your personal vices.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying you can see it. Like a man will stand there and argue with
Trust.
a female, and the reason why certain men react the way they react is because of that feminine
Mm,
energy. Because in the form of insecurity as well, because if you're secure within yourself and you pretty much understand that balance, you're not gonna go out of character. Like you will never see me on here Ray and Tay Tay and I try to talk it on our like,
nah,
oh yeah, you're incorrect. No,
not
it's
gonna happen.
more, it's a more balance. And it's a good thing to tap into your feminine side, because what that does, it brings forth more passion and empathy towards other people, you
Yep.
know? Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. You can't be hard at 6 o'clock every time you get up. That
Exactly. It's not
that's not
like
kosher. Like you're running around with blue balls in life. Like, come on, man. Release yourself and be happy. Be grand and be merry.
relax.
And another thing too, we fail to understand that, like, even through sex, right? It's not about pounding and caressing and stroking and licking and stuff. Like, if a female's body is pretty much off balance and she is tuned into that male, him pretty much entering her with a certain period of time pretty much
Mm-hmm.
balances her back out,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa.
Right.
There's rituals that you can create while making love and while touching each other. So it's deeper than that. Like everybody will say, like, oh, he just entered her and she got pregnant. No,
Nah.
because
It's
if
not.
you're off balance, it's not happening.
Yeah. Yep.
You know.
There's another thing I'd like to add though too, because it's absolutely true. Like what you were saying, you can't always be one thing. Not every male is only masculine. Not every female is only feminine. There shouldn't be a time when females are only feminine. I mean, in the just the basic foundational essence. Like if you go on Google and you type in feminine energy, masculine energy, you get that list.
Mhm.
No one can be only feminine. This wouldn't even be a good idea. Imagine someone coming up to you in the street and like they wanna do something to you, or they want to trouble your child. So let's bring in that now, because you're supposed to be vicious at that point. They want to trouble your child, and you're still just being passive. What's that about? That's not helping anybody. I mean, unless you're being wise with it and you're like you're like calming the situation down, because you see that if you are passive in that situation, that it would de-escalate. But if it's a thing where you have to act, or you have to do, or you have to run, or you have to do something, you can't just be stagnant, because you're bound to this notion that you should only have feminine energy. It doesn't make sense. And the same with a man. Could imagine dealing with your children with masculine energy at all times. It's not going to work. At certain points, you do have to come with a sort of feminine energy if you like when you're dealing with them. What are you going to say?
And peep this. You notice men always bring forth that form of energy when they have a daughter. The daughter have them around the finger like this.
Like this.
So like the hardest dude will become somebody that plats hair,
I'm telling you.
that sits and drink tea with his
Yeah,
daughter,
it
go
takes
dance
a
with his
little
daughter. You can't do
time.
that being hard 24/7. The daughter breaks that barrier down.
Mhm.
And to me, our children pretty much chose us, and it's not even just that. They actually they're actually a reflection of us. They're like the little us running around. So whatever part within our adult self we fail to pretty much comprehend
Yeah.
at our age now, it's like we give birth to that and we see it all over again. Like if you look at my son, you'd be like, yo, dude, that's you.
Yeah,
But his
yeah.
mannerism, like his mom sent me a video today and the hand gestures, I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yo, that's me. Like everything about it is just me, from the way he converses to the way he acts, and he walks in the room and he just chill and watch the room. I'm like, yo, that's me 100%. And I'm like, yo, sometimes it makes a dude cry, be like, yo,
You see, look at that.
it is what it is.
Yeah. And you can't just be one thing. It's impossible. There's a need for balance. There's a need for the pendulum swinging. There's a need for the polarity. There's a need for the duality. If there was no need for it, it would not be one or two of the laws of the universe. There's a great need for it. There's another thing I wanted to touch on. It's come to my head. You see the infantilization of the feminine essence energy, or the demonization of it. There's two aspects to it. The demonization that makes everyone see the feminine energy as a negative thing. Anything feminine is always demonized, down, or the bad feminine aspects are pushed in front of everyone's face. It's almost like they want to put down the good, push out the bad, so that they can say, "You see, they're bad." It's like what they're doing with the men nowadays. They're creating from situations, from circumstances, from nature, as in, nurture and nature. So where you're coming from, nurture, I mean, from nurture, they're creating this image of men to now push out to everyone and be like, you see, every man, like men are just bad. We just want to throw something. It's like, why can't everyone think too? It's not difficult. We're all born with this brain. At what point did you lot say, forget it? I don't want to think no more. Let me just take in. Like, where did that come from? But they just push it all. They just push it. Demonize, demonize, demonize. And this demonization has been going back for a long time. I'd say mostly in the mixed Arabs. I couldn't say as much about the Moors, but the mixed Arabs and European culture and certain East West African cultures, like Maasai. But I also do believe that that could be because they said it went back generations. So we have the infantilization now, which I can use the Maasai as an example. We put in those cultures, and this is trickled down to society in general. We put the man here,
Mm-hmm.
put the children here,
Mm-hmm.
put the women here.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if they're creating this sense that women aren't capable. They stay in a childlike state, whereas men grow in the mind and is able to take care of everything, everyone, every like everything. It's like this whole
But look at this. But within the same, this is what you got to think now, right? But within the same context, why are they trying to turn every male into a female? Right? Why are they trying to turn every male feminine, like on a deeper form of femininity? And don't even just look at that. Um, Certain thing a woman can do that a man can't do,
mm,
like the multitasking of not only taking care of the house or making it a home, but, and I said this before, the woman controls how long the man live. If you're in a balanced household with a
yeah,
man, woman, and child, the woman controls how long the man lives. You want to know why? Because she's the one prepping all his meals.
right. That
So
Shahrazad Ali. Watch that females real quick, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and she was right, but by her stating that, you actually have to. It gives you a second to actually stare and look at it for what
Right,
it is. You get what I'm
right,
saying? Like to question it.
right.
And then the crazy thing that we tend to do, we tend to defer from nature, right? Or it's to say we're bigger than nature, right? But
Mm,
we're all vibrational beings. So one is all and all is one. The same energy that's pumping through you is pumping through me,
mm-hmm.
you know? And we fail to see that. We're thinking we are greater than the next person, but no, in actuality, the next person is you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that Chinese concept. I love that Chinese concept, you know, about the marbles. And you have a string that connects each marble in the whole universe, and you look through the marble and you see the next marble and the next marble, and they all join together.
But
That
peep
concept.
this. But peep this. It's not Chinese. It's not even theirs. These teachings that they're giving you is not theirs, because like they will tell you, like recently they came out and said, oh, um the Buddha was
Oh
black.
yeah,
The
yeah.
first former man
It's behind
within
me.
the first former Japanese or Chinese is pretty much black. The first samurai is black.
Was black. The first
So
copy master was black.
so the hate comes from us being the natural first human being,
Mm-hmm.
and they know what they are. So it's like is a reverse admiration per
Yeah,
se.
yeah.
And that's
Definitely.
just what it is. Like they've tried every single thing, and the reason why it goes to the point where they used to try to castrate the man is
Yeah.
because they know if this man continue on the path that he is, within a couple of years or whatever hundreds of years, they will die out because he will keep procreating over and over again, and they'll die out. So what they try to do, they put up systems to try to eliminate not only him but the woman as well, because in order to get rid of the men, you have to program the woman,
Mm-hmm.
because through the woman you control the man.
Mm-hmm.
That's just common sense. Like just look at it, because a man don't run outside and get fly or buy this certain car because he
Of their own.
feels a certain way. Imagine if there was no woman on the planet, he would not. What's
They
the
wouldn't
point?
they wouldn't have rings, they wouldn't have hat. They like you guys wouldn't be doing all that because no one ain't watching you where you want another man to look at you and feel that like
Exactly, and it's vice versa.
yeah, that's true, you know. For females though, let's think about it for females. Because you see females, yeah, we're much more vain. We're even vain amongst each other.
Mhm.
Like you as a male, heterosexual, ain't gonna want another man to look at you. But us as females, yeah, in nature, I'm telling you, I see it all the time. Like you go somewhere and you see every woman looking at every other woman, analyzing her, sizing her up, and putting herself in a number order according to every other woman there, like her hierarchy. Do you know what I mean? So, oh, I got the nicest clothes. Oh, I got the best shape. Oh, I got the brownest skin. Oh, I got the nicest hair. Yeah, I'm number two because that chick there, she's a little bit better. Like, this is what females do. They do that. But probably vice versa to a certain extent.
And through that superficiality, right? They go and they altered their self to mimic the next one, and say, like, it's kind of like there's this instrumental that I had downloaded. So there was a cartoon running with the instrumental. So pretty much what was going on in the cartoon was she saw this woman, right? And the woman was perky. She has the Botox, she had the chin, and she had whatever. So she, as a natural girl,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, she has a natural girl. She's like, wait, what? I want that, because she felt like that's what's in. So she went and she keep altering it. Every
Yep.
woman she sees, she altered it, right? And guess what? That woman actually phased out of the story. So all the alterations that she did, it came back into a natural woman now.
Right. And then she's looking at them like,
Like, what the hell? I did all of this.
I know you. I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
that.
Now I'm fake, and stuff is not going accordingly. So what the
Exactly.
hell is going on?
But that is very true. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. 'Cause I was going to say something about something that you said a long time ago, but I don't even matter now. But it's true. Like Shahrazad Ali. You know when you were saying like we need to sit and we need to think about it. When you think about it like that, like back in the 1800s, they made black men feel bad for having bigger genitalia. Like they literally made fun of black men so much that the black men started to feel bad and shamed for having bigger genitalia. How can you convince someone that that's a bad thing? Do you know what I mean? But then they did the same thing with a woman cooking or cleaning or taking care of her family or taking care of the house. There is not a damn thing wrong with that. That is a very big job, you know. Like I heard there's a Rabbi Akweti, big up Rabbi, but there's a Ghanaian rabbi who speaks about this a lot. He's saying a computer is the most complex technical thing on earth. But a fingernail is more technical than a computer. It's more complex than a computer. So how much more an actual human who is basically guarded more so by the mum. And then he goes on to explain that the Kohen, they always are doing rituals, chopping open goats and putting the blood here, the voodoo, righteous voodoo, they be doing that. And it's like they're always dirty. They're always got this and they're more quarantined. They have loads of rules and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he correlates it to the females in that same society. She's always cleaning. She's always got like changing diapers. She's always like the baby could be sick on her or like whatever's going on, when kids come from where they're coming from and they look like I don't know where they went to the woods and stuff and they come back like just different things. And then he talks about how it's supposed to be, they're supposed to be revered or respected on the same level as the Kohen because they're both doing the same thing. The same people try to use the fact that in these sorts of societies, women have a little bit more of restrictions as you see, we're better than you because you have to do more. It's not the case. The priest and the female in this society, this culture, has to do a lot more because they're on a higher level. The higher you are, the more, as a king, you can't walk out on the street. You can't just do that. You're gonna get taken or this and that. Look at the president. He don't just go where he's going. He like you go in cars, you go with bodyguards, you go all of this. He's restricted. He can't have a normal life like everybody else. And it's because of the place that society places them that causes them to have these restrictions. But as time has gone on, everyone's demonized it, just like they convinced the black man that having bigger genitalia was a bad thing.
Yeah, but then in turn around and want that bigger genitalia, just like the so-called black women. They be like, "Oh, you're ugly," but this,
Then
that,
you
and the third. But yet you want the inflated lips. You want her ass. You want her. You know what I mean? If you can get her DNA, you would take that too. Because yeah, it's funny, and we don't utilize our common sense to see the game that's being played. It's kind of like we think we're in control, right? But picture a child with a plastic steering wheel sitting right next to his dad. That's as much control as we have
yeah.
within this,
Yeah.
and we fail to see that. We think when we ingest a few books or we ingest something new, we're bigger than the universe or we're separated from the universe. Like, no, you don't control the rain. You're more like a speck within it. So the same energy that the
Right.
universe is flowing with is the same energy that we have. Because if we take time out to really look at it, we can command what goes on outside because we're creating our own experience. But we're so fickle that we fail to see that,
Mm, yeah.
you know?
As you're saying that, because we do control a lot more. And it just reminded me of another opinion or perspective I have on the essence of a female. It's the whole, you know how the tide controls the sea, apparently. Tide controls the sea. And it controls other aspects of life, and it actually has a huge connection with females within itself. They say the tide controls the sea. A lot I've come to the conclusion again that women have influence, and their influence is a lot of the time their power. The influence can be used in a bad way, and influence can be used in a good way. I believe women have power and men have authority, but power and authority is the same. Is one in the same. You can't have authority and not have power. You can have power and not have authority, but normally your power brings or breeds authority
You
because
see
people
how
see that you're someone.
that's chaotic? Like take
I
both of
think
that
it's
and
mad, isn't it?
put it together.
One. Again, everything goes back to the one. You always have one half, and you bring it and it comes back to the one.
The Holy Trinity,
Have one. Yeah, right. You
man,
can never
woman, and child.
exactly like you can never just have one.
What
And
what
even that, go on, King.
yo, where the Holy Ghost come from? Then them like think about it. Then them tell us say, yo, oh she gave birth to a child from and she was a virgin. Where the Holy Ghost come from? Where
Right.
the Son and the Holy Ghost come from? Like, yeah, and let's have a look upon certain things, because one of the most biggest thing where thing for me was when my first son was born, and I see him coming out, and I held him. My mental was gone from that book,
Yeah.
because one of the biggest perception in that book is, oh, you came out of you he gave you one of
Yeah,
his
yeah,
ribs. And I mean, those things are parables. So if you really want to look at it, and he goes back to what I said earlier, right?
yeah.
The man is the seed, he
Mhm.
plants the seed, the woman is the earth that beareth the fruit. So yeah, to an extent, but what they're trying to make us believe is she was, she gave life and there was no man, right? And that's on the sixth day. So for if I'm a reflection of supposedly God or the one with the universe, the only person I could look at and say, let us create man in our own image is a woman.
Yeah.
Period.
There's no one else. Unless he's talking to the aspects of himself, which is apparently what was being done. But that is definitely true. The Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Ghost. A lot of the people don't like to talk about it, but it's exactly a she. Wisdom is a she. Waters is a she. In you know how all of our African cultures we have words that have gender denotations.
Mhm.
That's what I mean when I say it's a she or it's a he, and so on and so forth. Like even when it talks about the right hand of God, it's talking about when you read it in Hebrew, it says she, my right hand. The
But
biggest thing that everyone talks about, the right hand. Everyone's with my right hand, sit by my right hand. It's never left my right hand, my right hand.
look,
Biggest thing,
a
female.
king and a queen, right? Then they're on the throne. Which part the king sit on?
Yes, sir.
And they're on the left. And which part
Mm-hmm.
the queen there?
Yes, sir.
Common sense. So like no speak point your masculine side come from which hemisphere your brain.
You said
And
left.
so in time I said the love and the femininity they matter about which side.
This
The
side.
it's not so some things is just common, certain things just common sense, and common sense is righteous awareness, point blank, period. And it is what it is. Like I don't like my mom would say, yo, them can't chat iron and ball blood. It is what it is. And they
Raw.
need to stop trying to differentiate what it is. A
Yeah.
man and a woman through sex becomes one. And if
Mm,
y'all want to really get technical, a man plus a woman equals three.
Free,
So
right?
in actuality, the space in between, if y'all want to really get technical and speak in scientific terminology, right? It's three, and the kid makes that three. So 1 + 1 really is three.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna. They dumb everything down and reverse engineer it to mess us up. They got us swaying to the left, like yo, worship this, I want that. So like yesterday, I said to dude, he's like, yo, God gonna strike you down and this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, I'm like,
So,
if you're praying to the same God the slave master prayed to, whose prayer does he answers first?
ooh,
I'll let
ooh,
that marinate. I'm not even gonna say. I'm even gonna say nothing more. I'm
yeah,
not even gonna say nothing more.
that is, woo, that one there is sweet.
Yeah,
Listen,
his rebuttal was
stupid. Like what rebuttal? You can't rebuttal. Like, what rebuttal? That is you can't
his
rebuttal
rebuttal
that.
was
That's
crazy.
straight. That's straight. Shh. You know what? Let me head out. You know that SpongeBob meme. I'm gonna head out. Like you don't say nothing after that, man.
He's
But
crazy.
definitely the essence of a female, man. We're taught about the male. We're taught about that strength. We talk about protection. We talk about provider. We talk about leader. We talk about this, but we never talk about the essence of a female. Her true strength. What does she do? Where does she
Her
come?
virtues.
Yeah, her virtues. Like what is her place? What is her position? And I grew up struggling with this for a while because I remember when I was younger, I used to see how women are perceived on TV and in society, in religions and stuff. And it used to always make me wonder because I remember no, it's like thinking to myself, I don't do that, or like I don't think that, or well, that's not true. And even when you're talking about the rib, the woman coming from the rib, I see representations of humans coming from females every day of my life. Show me a pregnant woman, you can see life coming from her. But you don't see representations of people coming from ribs ever in anywhere at any point. So why was these things planted into our minds? Why is it that one of the earliest civilizations that we can go back and find, a lot of them, I wouldn't say matriarchal, but they were either egalitarian or the main L, the highest L, was always female. Why was there this big respect regarding that feminine source? And when did that change? Was it the different civilizations that took over these people? Was there some sort of angels that come down? You know, certain religions have these aliens, angels, whatever they want to call them, come down and start giving them ideas. Where did it change? Why did it change? Or is it the simple fact that nothing's new under the sun, so it was going to change? Was there a shift in the age? Was it feminine, masculine age? Was the more root science correct?
I've heard it. I've heard, and this is what a white man stated. He was doing this whole alientology teaching. I forgot his actual name, and he was saying that we are not only indigenous to this plane, but we're also extraterrestrial. Like if you pay attention to our DNA, right? It's far vast and more different than every other DNA on the planet, and
Yeah,
it's not something that you can replicate just like that.
no.
From like, for instance, everybody running around with that coronavirus thing, right? What's going on with us?
There's only 3 cases in Africa in the whole
And I
world.
bet you, I bet you, it's not us.
Right, I said that. I
Okay, okay.
said that to us, but I was like, I bet it's Morocco, Tunisia or something. Like, you know where we ain't at, like. But listen, there is something about us. Even that whole Eve gene, or that whole us going back to Lucy. There is definitely something about the feminine as well as the masculine. Never want to like talk about this as if the masculine isn't just as important, but it's literally because it's the subject I'm talking about, so I'm going to focus on it. But there's something about the feminine, just like there's something about melanated people. that everyone's trying to hold down, everyone's trying to stop, everyone's trying to smother, everyone's trying to tell black people, oh, black is bad, curly hair is bad, this is bad, but then assimilate it. Then everyone's trying to say, as you said, to women, oh, women's bad. But then everyone was like, because I see a lot of transgender people, are women, men turn to women, then women turn to men. Have you noticed that?
That's what I was saying earlier. Why are they turning most of the males
Yeah.
into females, or trying to feminize them? But you also got to look at the game. Like I said to you earlier, it's for survival, right?
Mm.
So if within this man's genitalia, he has the capability within his essence to actually eradicate my entire existence and generation, I would be scared too. No,
Yes.
seriously, because with the woman, we can do this, and they know the hold that the women have over the men, right? Because men gravitate to women. Like even a grown ass man to this day get into the world of trouble or the world of pain. The first person he crying to, even if she's not even there, is mommy,
Mama.
because there's this connection that's been tied to, from whether it's in this realm or this plane, but the people that we encounter, there's a connection, a deeper connection to them than what it really is. Like earlier I said, and I was being genuine, like, yo, I thought that, and you pretty much said it.
Mm.
So, and there's plenty of times where I've seen things and I'm like, yo, I've dreamt things. I'm like, I go outside and I see it, like, yo, that's deja vu. Like I was even telling Rich the other day, like, we don't know how powerful we are, because if it's raining and within myself, I say, you know what, why is it raining? I really need it to stop. And no lie, within a certain time, it stopped. I'm like, you know what, you can start fall when I get back in the house. And I love the rain.
Yeah,
I
nah.
use it as a form of I use it as a form of cleansing, you know? And I'm like, just stop. And as soon as I walk in the house, it starts raining again.
It's
That's how
mad.
powerful we are.
Have you ever been like in your house as well? Let's say like the TV's on and you like you're talking to yourself or you ask yourself a question and then the TV goes, "Oh yes, this." You feel like, wait,
Yeah.
hold up. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that happens a lot in the ring. Yeah, that happens a lot. We
Yeah.
are more powerful and more in tune than we think.
Absolutely. So the soul thing, is deeper than what we believe it to be. And we go around moping within the conditions that we conjure, and we fail to see that we're creating this reality. So whatever we states, it's kind of like, go back to the Bible, Biblios, or whatever you want to call it. um the tongue is a double-edged sword. It's speaking life,
Mm.
and it takes it away, right? So
Mm-hmm.
why can't I speak things into existence if I am the creator of my own experience?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But our conditions, right, alleviate our power. It's kind of like, you remember the old time TV where you have
Mm.
to fix the antenna to get the clear picture?
And twist it so for
Yeah.
change. Yeah, man.
So the more fear society create and them know, the more fear them instill in our way, the
Right.
less in tune we are to our genuine self, to our spiritual farm
Mm-hmm.
within this realm.
Cause that fear there creates mental blocks.
Depression, stress, doubts.
Suicidal thoughts, distress, fatigue, everything. Yeah, creates mental blocks.
Absolutely. You know, absolutely.
It actually brought me on to another thought as well. Like, this world is a crazy place.
Not the world. Society is a crazy
Society, society
place.
is crazy. When I say world, yeah, I don't mean Earth. I mean the people on it.
Okay, got you.
When
Got
I
you.
say world, I mean the people on it. Cause Earth didn't do not a damn thing to nobody. It's there, it's feeding us, and we just want to chop it down and screw it up. That's another aspect of it. Medicinal, like the keepers of the earth, um, earth, like as in the herbs, the trees, the animals, the so on and so forth. I believe this is something males and females do interchangeably, especially because one of men's first jobs was husbandry, and that would be dealing with a lot of animals in the farm and so on and so forth. And I do believe that melanated people have a certain morality or humanity towards animals. We're not usually abusive to animals. I don't
Gonna
believe.
destroy.
Yeah, like we don't go around trying to dampen everyone's anything. Like the earth was completely fine before the genocide of the European colonizers. But that brought me to another thing to keep was the earliest doctors, females. Imagine healing, like you heal, like you feed, you nurture, you heal, you build, you teach. These
Mhm.
aren't small things. Like without these things, what are you? You know what I mean? You can be added. There's something I know. I feel like a female grows you and a male disciplines you. A lot of the discipline that I've got have come from the males in my life. Like my family members have come from the males, and a lot of the growing, a lot of the teaching, a lot of the wisdom interchangeable, but intuition and learning how to own that and know it and see it comes from the females. And it crosses over to that whole, yeah, like you teach, you heal, you do a lot. Like back in the day, the women knew the herbs, they knew what mud to use, they knew what season. It's just like the elephants, they know when to move, where they're going, and they're a matriarch. Like they know to move where they're going, they know where they're going, they have someone they're following. The grandma is always the top, then you have the mum, the aunties, them, because it's her children, then you have the grandchildren, them, and they all come together, they know what they're doing, they're creating something. Even I'll go back to Shahrazad Ali. Men are going off to war. It's the women in that society stand there with their drums and they're beating whatever they can beat, and they have their instruments and their timbrels and their uproar, the scream, that energy that they're putting on the men, that they're singing to them, that war chant, making them go off. The energy that the men leave with just from the women dancing around them, especially with their children there as well. That energy that men leave with, no one can touch them in battle. No one can touch them. They don't need to eat. They don't need to do none of that. That same energy will last for weeks. That feeling in your chest, that beating of that drum will stay there in your chest for weeks. And all they did was sing and chant. There's
Yeah.
one next video I seen in Haiti. Yeah, it was Haiti. There was a woman walking down the road after a whole bunch of destruction did happen in Haiti, and she was screaming. When I tell you this woman, she was walking with her child, she had her hand up in the air, and she was cursing America. She was cursing. You see that curse that she cursed America, and know that it is affecting America in some way, shape, or form, because that energy and that force and that power and those cries that she cried out to the universe ain't just going nowhere. That cry, when mama cry, when mama pray, when mama take up arms, that's it for anybody. No one don't even need to do nothing, just the words, and that's it. I know
And
one man who did something to someone, and the person he did something to, the man's mom must have whispered something to him, and to this day the man can't walk.
and it's funny you say that because something happened to my elder brother, and my mom looked at the person that did what he did to my elder brother, and she said, "It's crazy." She said, "I'm gonna take my breasts out for you." You see, the next time we see the dude, he was in a wheelchair with a shit bag on his
Oh,
waist, and she's like, "That I told you, you don't mess with my firstborn." Dude came back and pretty much apologized to not only him but to her.
you see? And only
So,
then will the curse be gone or whatever it is. But yeah,
but to say what it is, and I've witnessed this, you know,
that's crazy.
um, that goes back to what Dr. Valentine said. Like, if a woman is in tune with herself, she
Yeah,
can feel before it touches the egg,
yeah.
and we have to see that we're whole with each other. I'm not
Yeah,
saying gravitate towards the debasing of you. Find that one that elevates and illuminate your very being, that brings your flames to a overwhelming glory. Not one that's gonna piss on your flames and make
Yeah.
it shrink smaller. But we do need each other. That's why it doesn't matter what a queen does or what I've been through. Like now I'm starting to see it. Like, yo, hey queen, peace, queen. Let me hold the
Hmm.
door for you, queen.
Same.
And it's changing, and it's not only changing me, and the more I start to watch nature, the more I start to see what's really real. Like, just picture standing there and listen to not only the birds chirp, but to the trees that's maneuvering, cutting through the wind. Even look at your own essence. Sometimes you even forget to breathe. We take breathing for granted,
Like
but we
blinking.
don't control it.
Trust me. Yeah.
And we don't control that. So why are
Yeah.
we trying to control every single thing else?
Yeah.
Just think of it's just common sense. And we go around thinking, oh, I need to make this, I need to this, that, and the third. And the way you go around them and about it, it never happens because whatever you start to chase is like the further away it gets away from.
Yeah. Because that's not how you deal with things. Like, but that's another female aspect I'd like to talk about too. That whole how do I say it? That whole flowing.
Hmm.
How a woman's supposed to do a thing, she's supposed to flow. That's why I said she has influence because she's not forceful, not supposed to be, unless it's a time when she's supposed to be, as I said, balancing it. But flowing, that whole understanding, using wisdom and intuition as well as our own essence and flowing to deal with whatever situation, whatever's coming about. But it's that flowing with everything, that knowing that you're cool, you're good, just keep flowing. It's going somewhere. That oh yeah, I don't know yet, but it's like an African. I ever read a African story. The story don't make no sense. I'm not even joking with you until the very last page. The whole book makes no sense until the very last page. Then the whole book makes complete sense. This is how people should look at life. And this is how the feminine used to look at life. This is why the feminine always used to, whenever the man would be stressed, he'll go to his woman. Oh, da, 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 da. It's okay. Next day, so from wherever, because she gets something or something comes just from wherever, they get blessed with whatever it is. And it's just like, have you ever realized that, like with your mom, no matter what, she always get what she needs for
Man,
her
her,
and her people. Have you
her
got that?
I've been seeing this my entire life.
My
Like
whole life,
my
like it
entire
don't
life.
happen for my dad, it don't happen for my male peoples. It
The
only
mom.
happens for the females. It's crazy. I feel bad sometimes. I'm like, damn, like, can't you see? But like, it,
Hey, sometimes I say like, yo, you must have Jesus sandals or something. Like,
you know what I mean? Like, yo, how does this just appear? Like that day, she needed this and she needed that, and then just from nowhere, like someone's like, oh yeah, do you need this? Oh yeah, and then this. Oh yeah, I'm throwing away this. It's like that was everything. And the wickedest thing is, it happens to me. It happens to me all the time. Also, I don't worry about a damn thing. I don't see the point in worrying about it. Worrying ain't gonna do nothing. Worrying ain't gonna bring it flat in front of my face anyway. So I may as well trust because until the end of the book, it ain't gonna make sense anyway. That's how I see it.
we create the conflict though,
Yeah.
because think about like the more we sit here and think about something, or like even look at the word want, right? In order for you to get something, right? You say, okay, I want and I need it, but those are low frequency words. And the more you want something, the more you will not get it.
Yeah.
Because want is to pretty much get up and start the car, but I don't feel like going anymore. So it's mediocrity, you know. And when people say I'm trying, how can you try when you're in the motion of acting? You're doing it. Cut those low frequency or low vibrational words out. They don't resonate with you.
It's I have or I am or it's not. I remember what I remember watching something, some Sierra Leone man is saying that there isn't a word shouldn't or could have or would have
or
in their
can.
language. Do you know what I mean? There's no such thing. What do you mean you could have or you would have? If you did or you didn't. Do you know what I mean? There's no in between. There's no such word as this.
And that's why I don't look at wrong or right. I just look at complete balance,
Yeah.
because everything is pretty much a web. Like if you look at the lion, right? He sends the lioness to go hunt, and she's not evil because she killed that gazelle, or she killed that to feed her family. You got to look at it like it's a part of whatever. So whatever she kills and eat, she leaves it, it goes back to the earth, and another one replicates that one. Or like how they like to say, another child is born once somebody energy passes on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to look at certain things that they tell us, like, oh, everybody's just so fear of death. And coming up in Jamaica, they said, yo, you're supposed to really cry at birth and laugh at death. And it starts to make sense, because I said to even Rich, I'm like, King, why we fear something that we have never experienced? And the reason we never experience it is because we're living right now. So none of us know what it is. So why are you fearing it?
Yeah. Yeah. People fear the inevitable. People not fear the inevitable, but they fear what they don't understand, or that something they can't see. They can't see. They can't touch, because it's an unknown. It's the darkness. People fear darkness. You shouldn't fear darkness. You come from darkness. You are darkness. You come into the light and you go back into darkness. That's what it seems like. I mean, you close your eyes. Who knows where you go after that? But you close your eyes. You go back into the darkness. There's no reason to fear it. But everybody fears the unknown. Everyone fears what they cannot control, and that's what everyone's problem is, because you can't control everything. So you'll forever be in fear.
Even the relationships.
I was gonna
Eh,
say, damn, this
even the relationships.
is weird now.
Yeah, even the relationships, because and that's what we do. We bring these conditions within our relationship, and the conditions is not based on the other person, it's based on you. So it's every fault you find with the other person is really you, and vice versa. So if everybody takes accountability within the relationship and everybody love themselves unconditionally, therefore the love will continue to flow,
Mhm.
and it will never be distorted, because love, there's no ending to love. Love is love, and we always continue it.
Yeah.
But the distortion comes from how I believe you should be, or whatever mannerisms or moral ethics that I was taught as a child. So now I'm trying to put it forth to you, versus seeing that, what, she's a complete different person, and the action which she's illuminating is who she really is.
Mhm.
But, and no disrespect to the queens does this a lot. The queens will conjure within their mental Rolodeck that this is how a man should be.
Mhm.
And when the man is flowing within his actual essence, the way he's naturally being, the distortion comes where she's like, that's not what it is. This is what I see for you. And vice versa,
Yeah.
or that's what you should be,
Yeah.
and this, that, and the third. But you're creating this stigma. That's why, like, I don't pretty much try to talk down to people or force my ideologies onto people, because if I really want you to change, guess who has to change first?
I and I. You know what I mean? Mhm.
Absolutely. That's straight volume.
Cause you're gonna see what I do, how I do it, why I do it, and how what comes out of me doing it. These four factors are gonna make you think. Wait, hold on. So da, 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 and you start thinking differently. You start perceiving things differently. You start looking at yourself differently. I think everything starts with oneself. Everything does start with oneself. And if people paid attention to themselves, their thoughts, their feelings, why they feel that way. Sometimes you're in a relationship, as you said, and you'll be feeling a certain way because someone sounded a certain way or said a certain thing. And when you've dealt with it before, or what you've like what you've dealt with before, and how you've experienced it, or how you are, how you would be like, how what it would mean if you were doing this thing, basically. Is the reason why you're reacting to it when this person may not be doing something. So maybe as you should be looking and stopping and thinking to yourself, do you know what? Maybe it's me. Like, not everything is everyone else. Like, maybe it's me. Like, maybe I'm judgmental. Maybe I'm the one who takes things wrong. Maybe it's because I do a certain thing this way. I'm perceiving this person doing this as what I would do when it's a completely different thing when they're doing it. Maybe this is just how they are. Maybe this is how they grew up.
And that's where the condition comes into a format or placed on a canvas of so-called unconditional. There is no so-called unconditional. It's straight conditions.
Everything's conditions.
Everything is conditions. Like you just implement it. That's just what it is, you know? And I've been through certain relationships, and like I said, I used to point fingers like, yo, it's your fault. Listen, but there's something about the accountability. Like when you take that accountability, it feels like taking a deep breath or drinking a cool glass of water in a hot summer day. It replenishes you.
Yeah.
And understanding someone, sometimes you see the greatness within the person that they don't see within themselves, right? So you want to change that person ASAP, but guess what? You cannot change that person. Only that person can change them.
Mm-hmm.
They have to make the steps. So your effort is basically
Futile.
non, yeah, and that's just what it is.
You made some good points. Yeah, you made some good points. We're gonna have to do this more often, you know.
Like you
We did
said, it's a continuation of
it.
many lives to come. So
This is just the first topic too. There's gonna be other ones, maybe even touching on the mill as well.
yeah, we don't have the elder in here either. So
Yeah, exactly.
certain
Okay.
certain words we was using, he like, no, don't use that one.
Yeah.
Salute, King. Salute. And it is what it
All
is.
right, man. It is what it is, man. But definitely, women do need to come back into that knowing of themselves, and we need to start teaching our daughters. There's too much emphasis placed on sons. We need to start teaching our daughters that same pride men have for their sons. We need to have for our daughters as moms because we passed down that to them. That same X that we got from way, 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 way back. We have in our own daughter, and we just disassociate ourselves from it for whatever bitterness, jealousy, whatever the reason may be. But we do need to grasp that essence back as females if we're going to get anywhere. No nation can rise higher than the place of its females.
But the crazy thing about it too, like, men is great,
Yeah,
but behind every great man whispering in his ear is a greater woman.
or the serpent.
Yeah, okay. That's a funny one. That's how they pretty much state it. But you just gotta see things like we need to we need to go off common sense more, because just go outside and look what nature is showing you. And I keep saying this as if lately, like, imagine the sun gets up and say, you know what, world, um, screw you. I don't want to shine today. I don't want to shine today.
I'm going
You
to Mars.
know, yeah. And by the time tomorrow come, everybody dead off. Like,
Exactly. Like if the
out of the
bees
tree.
it was gonna go, or the trees decided, you know what? I don't like this world no more, and drop down. We're all finished. We're all
Yeah.
finished.
Are the bees that pollinate the trees and so on
Right.
and so forth? You man say,
We're all finished.
hey, hold on, the man come to smell that interrupt. Hold on.
So the
keep
man,
the keep talk to the females.
turn off the video, so no one nobody see him. And we'll learn females. No, I'm talking to everybody, man. Cause everybody gotta hear this. Everybody gotta hear this. You are. If one, you need to go look at. Sampa the Great on YouTube. The tune is Feminine Energy, and the next tune is Black Girl Magic. Really listen. And in the beginning of Koji Radical's song, Sugar, not Water. There's one Koji Radical song at the beginning where the woman's talking and she's saying like she's explaining how masculinity is found in the mouths of what did you say? I hate misquoting people, but masculinity is found in the mouth of blind leaders. So what for the females? Why is it that there's less representation for positivity when it comes to females? Like, for instance, the rap game, we got Lauryn Hill, we got, I mean, MC Light to an extent. We got, okay, we do have Jean Grey, we have Rogue Venom, we have Rhapsody. We do have a few, but not as much as is the males, and I don't feel like there's emphasis placed on a woman to also play a role to imprint themselves upon this world. I think that's one thing. You always want to step behind or go behind someone. No, you also are supposed to imprint yourself on this world. You're supposed to leave your name. They say that children in your name is the only thing you leave after death. So why is it that we don't keep our own names? Why is it that our names are forgotten in history? We,
But the funny thing about that is the funny thing about that is that I feel like that's also a lie.
what in particular?
The names we have is from our so-called slave masters.
Yeah, no, I mean if you go to like Nigeria, where it's their names, or if you go, where it's proper, where it's their proper names, not us. We can't really say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at it too. Like, because it's common sense would say like, all right, somebody that just got their freedom, why would they want to take on the name of their oppressors? So it's like, is this certain things you just pretty much like you have to look deep within, like King always says, like in order to solve the issue, you have to look within the problem
Yeah,
because the answer is there. We just
yeah,
gotta question certain things. Like when we say it out loud, it more so start to make sense. It's kind of like
it
think to
does.
yourself
That's
and
why
say,
therapy.
who are you? Like who am I? Ask that question. You're gonna sit there and wonder for
Mhm,
days.
I am. That's my answer to that question at all time. Who are you? I am me.
But even that, you got to look at it, right? They say you have what was it, 36 billion or was trillion cells within you.
Mhm.
So you being the being that you are, you're not a singular being.
That's why I am.
you
I'm
know,
that I am, and I was and will be.
yeah,
Because I got the I am within me. Oh, I'm spitting bars.
yeah. So yeah, we just gotta look at certain things, bro.
For real. Yeah, man. This session here, King, at 12:15 at night, So I gotta say, yo, we have to do for next time
All
again.
right, no problem,
You always a laugh when me say that. But yeah, definitely.
no problem. And I'm grateful for those of you that wanna participate within our lives. You can send a request at King Jermaine. And if you want to inquire about joining the group MEN-talRollaDeK, you can inquire about that as well. Inbox me. Hey Queen, it's always a privilege. It's always a wonderful thing to connect with each other. And I know it's late for you. Well, I want to say gratitude. And for those of you that's actually watching, I want to say gratitude. And steadfast, remain
Salute.
balanced,
Yeah, man.
stay true, all right?
You too.
Guidance.
Yeah, man.
All right, peace.
Later.